Welcome to WWE Attitude Years 2000, where Triple H buried everyone, The Rock roasted everything, and Vince McMahon was out here beefing with his kids. TLC got brutal. The Radicals bailed on WCW, and nothing made sense, but we loved every second. Hop into our time machine, and let's get uncensored.
What's up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Hot Commodity Ant C, and I'm joined by my own personal, I saw that a little bit earlier, up to see Lady Gaga going crazy. My own personal Hot Commodity, who's here with me.
That's me.
Ant B, that rhymes, always time. And we are jumping into our own handmade time machine. Of course, we have Peacock, and a VPN, so it's like, what, $20 a month to make our time machine to do this.
Yeah.
So it's very fun, not super expensive. But we are covering WWF.
Well, their VPN gets us smacked down on Netflix.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
Well, we get also like older yeah.
Yeah, we get like all the British stuff or whatever country we usually use.
Yeah. But we're covering WWF Unforgiven 2000 live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But before we talk about the pay-per-view, I want us to actually get almost like transformed to the month of September 2000 here. So we usually dive in with movies and music, but I also want to talk about TV a little bit during the time as well. And we'll go over quick, stuff that happened in that month. So I'm just going to throw you a couple of shows and you tell me if you've watched them. So in September 2000, at the time, King of Queens.
Yep.
We talked about the show earlier. Yes.
I like King of Queens. It's funny.
Yes, Dear, which we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Everybody Loves Raymond. You like that show?
Yeah, that's really good.
Becker. I never watched this. It was with the guy who was in Cheers.
Okay.
Sam Malone, I don't know his real name, but
the bartender?
Yeah.
Like the owner?
Yeah, he plays like, I think, like a therapist or something, and he used to be on in the background for a lot of things. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which I watched. You obviously watched it.
Yeah, I watched it like when it was really big.
It was huge, like when it first came out. The Practice, I never watched that.
No, me either.
Touched by an Angel, I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah, I've seen some of them.
The X-Files, I've never watched.
Not
really.
into it.
The Simpsons. Malcolm in the Middle.
I love Malcolm in the Middle.
The Weakest Link. I like The Weakest Link. The Lady is Spicy. You are the Weakest Link. Goodbye.
Yeah. I think WWE did a Weakest Link.
Mm-hmm. Ally McBeal. I've never watched that.
I've seen some of them. It's really good.
Law and Order, which I've never really watched, but
I love Law and
Order. Fun fact, my mom was giving birth to me, she was watching Law and Order at the time, so fun.
That's cool.
Moesha.
I'm sure I've seen it once or twice.
Into the, let's see, The Parkers. It's with Monique. That was funny. I used to watch it. The Hughleys, that was funny. That was with Daryl Hughley, I think. Girlfriends, which was also on UPN at the time.
Never seen
Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, I used to watch that.
Roswell.
It's an alien thing. It's kind of like X-Files. No.
Jag.
No.
It was like an army type show thing, I think.
Never watched it.
Judging Amy. My mom used to like that show.
I think I've seen it once or twice.
That 70s show. That's funny.
Yeah, I didn't watch it till like after it was on, but
Frasier was still on at the time. That's funny if you've ever watched it. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I've never seen.
I watched it a little bit when I was in high school.
Angel.
Yeah, Angel's hot.
Bet, which is the Bette Midler sitcom.
No, but I like her.
Normal Ohio, which was the one that you told us to watch with John Goodman being gay.
Well, I just watched that the other night with you for the first time.
Yeah? Well, look at that little eyebrow go up with that little fact. That was hot.
It's your eyebrow.
The West Wing.
No.
That's like a political show. Let's see here. Dawson's Creek.
I love Dawson's Creek.
Felicity.
No, I don't think I watched it.
Friends.
I'm not a Friends fan.
Me either. Will and Grace, I've never watched.
Definitely very funny.
I'll have to see it. Just Shoot Me.
Nope.
ER.
Yep.
ER was good. Gilmore Girls.
Very good.
I've never watched, but I know it's very good based on what it says. Charmed. I love Charmed.
I have seen all the Charmed. They're pretty good.
CSI.
Nah.
And last, Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, I've seen most of them.
Now, during when I was a kid, I was watching SpongeBob SquarePants, all that, The Amanda Show. Disney Channel didn't have. I think it just started with Lizzie McGuire. But Nickelodeon was where it's at. Rocket Power, Rugrats, SpongeBob. I said earlier that was where it was at. Keenan and Kel. I used to like the Nickelodeon channel. All right, so we talked about TV shows. Let's talk about some of the stuff that happened during that time. So, let's see here. On September 7th, the Video Music Awards took place, and Eminem won Best Singer there, or Rap, or whatever, and Aaliyah won Best Female at the time. Good stuff. That was a good VMAs.
Yeah.
The Emmy Awards took place on September 10th. And The West Wing won. Will and Grace won. James Gandolfini won Best Actor for The Sopranos. And Best Actress went to Allison Janney. Cats on September 10th ended at the Garden Theater in New York after 7,485 performances.
It was the longest running show on Broadway.
Yeah. Let's see, another fun fact about September. On September 15th, the 27th Olympic Games happened in Sydney, Australia. Did you watch the Olympic Games that year?
I would watch like some of the winter sports, but I wasn't huge into it.
Okay. On September 16th, Sammy Sosa became the second player to hit 50 or more home runs in 3 consecutive years. With full fun fact. On September 17th, there was a Farm Aid concert held in Virginia, and performers included Willie Nelson, Neil Young, John Mellencamp, Alan Jackson, Travis Tritt, and Tipper Gore.
Yeah, I know Travis Tritt a little bit.
The poor farmers. Let's see, anything else important here? No, nothing really else. Nothing from September that was interesting or anything super important happened in terms of historical events. Now, let's cover the top.
But next September it will.
Yeah, of course. That depressing. Let's talk about the top 10. Which one do I do? Movies or music first?
Music.
Music, okay. So, the number 10 song of September 2000 is With Arms Wide Open by Creed.
That's a great
I like that song. Number 9 is Come On Over Baby by Christina Aguilera.
Come on over, baby.
Get it, karaoke. Number 8 is Hot Shit Country Grammar by Nelly.
I'm going down, down, baby.
7 is Incomplete by Cisco.
Yeah, I know all these so far.
We have 6, Bent by Matchbox 20.
That's good.
Popular. 5, Kryptonite by Three Doors Down.
Would you still call me Superman?
Yep. And I'm surprised you didn't mention this. Wasn't that on the...
It was on the Smallville soundtrack.
There you go. Number 4, Jumpin' by Destiny's Child.
That's one of my favorite ones by them.
Ooh. 3 is Doesn't Really Matter by Janet Jackson.
I love that song. I had the single to it, and I bought the album.
Super gay, and I love it. Number 2, Give Me Just One Night on a
Give Me Just One Night.
98 Degrees.
Yeah, you gotta love Nick Lachey.
Yeah. And number 1, what do you think is number 1?
I don't know. Probably NSYNC or Backstreet.
Music by Madonna.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that song, but
Music.
everyone likes Madonna. All right, so here are the top 10 movies. We just heard the songs. Let's talk about the top 10 movies of September 2000. Number 10 is The Original Kings of Comedy, which I think is a comedy special featuring a bunch of let me look it up. I think it's a bunch of older comedians. The Original Kings. There we go. Okay. And it is Let's see. Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, Cedric the Entertainer, Bernie Mac.
I think it's a black show.
Okay.
Black.
Are you
comics.
racist?
No, I was
I
just
think
saying
it's black. It's a black
comics.
show. Can white people not enjoy it either?
No, what I'm saying is the people who were in it were like all the kings of comedy. They're black.
I don't know, respect.
Did I say, damn those black
Like
kings of comedy?
he's looking at you're looking at me like you're gonna get jumped by people.
Probably.
Okay. Number 9, Almost Famous.
We're very woke here.
Yeah.
No, we're not. But okay.
Did you ever see that? Almost Famous.
No.
Kate Hudson.
Mm-mm.
Have you heard about it?
Yeah.
It's good.
Maybe I did see it. I don't know.
Number 8, The Art of War.
No, never saw that.
I don't know what it is. Let me look this.
It's a white person movie.
It is.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
The Art of Wesley Snipes. UN Secretary General uses covert operations to help diplomacy along. Shaw's called back 6 months after one such operation. He witnesses the murder of Chinese UN ambassador in New York City and chases the assassin and ends up a suspect. Wesley Snipes, Donald Sutherland. Yeah, I don't think I ever watched that. Number 7, Remember the Titans. That was a good one.
Yeah,
with
I've seen
Denzel
that.
Washington about the football team. 6, What Lies Beneath. That's a good movie. We have to watch that
I've seen
one.
it. I'm not
Well,
sure.
I showed you the trailer for it with Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford.
Okay. I don't remember. But I know I want to see it.
It's good. Space Cowboys.
Come
with-
and take a ride. Take
We've
a
talked
space
about this.
ride
Clint Eastwood,
with the
Tommy Lee Jones, Donald
Cowboys.
Sutherland. Number 4, I've never heard of this. Nurse Betty.
No, never heard of it. But I'd like to see that. I like medical movies.
Nurse Betty. Okay, it says comedy about a widow's post-traumatic obsession with a soap star. It has Renee Zellweger, Morgan Freeman, Chris Rock, Aaron Eckhart. Okay.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Number 3 is The Cell, which I think we talked
Never.
about. I think that's the one with Jennifer Lopez. Yep, it was. The Cell. Number 2 is The Watcher.
Don't know. It sounds familiar.
Let's see. The Watcher. Let's look it up. The Watcher. Okay. No, wait, that's fine. Okay.
The Watcher.
The Watcher. A detective relocates after failing to catch a serial killer. Once settled, this killer resurfaces in his new city and begins sending photos of future victims. And that's with James Spader, Keanu Reeves, Marissa Tomei, Ernie Hudson. Okay. And the number 1 movie of September 2000 is Bring It On.
Well,
I've never seen that.
I'm surprised that's the number 1, but okay.
So, an interesting time here in September 2000. A lot of stuff happening. And a lot of stuff happening in the WWE, too. We have a lot to cover with Unforgiven, so let's jump right into the pay-per-view after I find my fucking notes, because I am a hot mess. It's gross. But here it is. So, Unforgiven takes place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania here. We have an 8-man tag match to start the night. The Right to Censor against the Dudley Boys and the Acolytes. And Bull Buchanan hits a springboard clothesline to Bradshaw to start the match. Val lands a sit-out powerbomb to Devon. Bubba hits a Bubba bomb to Val. The Acolytes attack Right to Censor on the floor, and then Steven Richards super kicks Bubba Ray Dudley, and the Good Father gets the pin. The Right to Censor win. However, after the match, the Dudleys land a What's Up headbutt to Steven. The Acolytes hit a double spine buster, and then Bubba Ray Dudley power bombs Steven Richards off the top rope through a table. And I think Steven Richards is going to think twice about messing with the Dudleys and the Acolytes, or trying to censor them at least. What'd you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I'm sure they haven't learned their lesson quite yet, but yeah, I don't think we've seen the end of them.
See. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon Helmsley are backstage. Triple H says he's going to destroy Kurt Angle, and he says, I need to know you're cool with that. Stephanie says, I'm your wife. I'm sorry for defending Kurt. I thought he was my friend. Maybe I was wrong. Triple H then says, was your friend worth it? So Stephanie's got a lot on her mind tonight. Plus, it's her birthday, so.
Yeah, happy birthday, Steph. I wonder if she'll get some.
Yeah, probably. We have a leather strap match next. Jerry the King Lawler versus Taz. Taz hits a modified slam and chokes the King out with a strap. Taz then low blows the King and whips the King here. King hits a power driver to Taz 3 times, but Taz sits up. Raven then appears out of nowhere and hits a DDT to the King. Taz applies a Taz mission, and King taps out. So this is pretty much the debut of Raven in WWE. What'd you think of this, helping Taz get the win? A call back to ECW.
Well, I don't really know much. I mean, I know they used to be in ECW together, but when did ECW end?
2001.
So it's still going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was all I really knew. I didn't really watch ECW, but yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen, and I've heard Raven was pretty good. So.
Raven Sports. Stone Cold Steve Austin finally arrives.
I know he got attacked by a fan, like really bad, like in
WCW,
the head,
yeah.
and like they said that he was really tough because he didn't like do anything, but like he just walked away.
Well, Austin is tough too. He arrives to the arena. Kevin Kelly tries to interview him, and Austin just fucks him up. Austin doesn't want to talk at all. He's looking for the person that
he's had enough talk.
He has. So next we have the WWF Hardcore Champion Steve Blackman defending the title in a Hardcore Invitational 10-minute time limit match here. He's defending against Perry Saturn, who's got Terry with him. Test, who has Trish Stratus, Funaki, Crash Holly, and the European champion Al Snow. And Al Snow this time is representing the country of Italy. He comes out with a pizza. He has a dead fish. He's wearing a leather jacket and a hat. And he gives Michael Cole a picture of Tony Danza. He's been doing this since he won the European title. Perry hits Trish Stratus with head, and then Tess hits Terry Reynolds with head. Everyone attacks Steve Blackman, but Steve is able to walk away with the title. I'm not a big fan of these matches. I mentioned when we were watching it. It's kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, it like lost me halfway through. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I just liked Al Snow's costume. That was pretty much the only thing that mattered to me with this.
Yeah. It was funny.
Kurt Angle meets Stone Cold Steve Austin backstage, and he presents Austin with his own medal, which is like 10 times smaller than Angle's own medal. And he says, well, you really didn't do anything to deserve this, but here you go. And then Austin fucks up Kurt Angle, and we all were waiting to see that. What'd you think of their first meeting?
It was really funny. He was like, I'll keep this somewhere safe right up your ass.
Yeah.
And he beat the shit out of him. It was great.
Whoop ass. Next up, X-Pac taking on Chris Jericho here. Chris Jericho lands a spinning heel kick. X-Pac pushes Jericho off the top ropes onto the railing and then dives onto Chris Jericho on the floor. X-Pac applies a sleeper and then does the Bronco Buster. Jericho's able to land a power bomb, and then Jericho does his own Bronco Buster to X-Pac. X-Pac low blows Jericho, hits an X Factor, but Jericho kicks out. And the end comes when Jericho applies the walls and X-Pac taps out. Chris Jericho gets the win.
Called it.
You did. After, though, X-Pac hits Jericho with the nunchucks, and it looks like this rivalry is far from over. But I thought this was a really good match. It stood out to me on the card.
It was pretty good. I mean, I don't know how much further they can go. I mean, Jericho's always going to be X-Pac's ass, I think, so.
Well, X-Pac was the one to leave Jericho laying, though, tonight with the nunchucks.
Well, it was unexpected, and it wasn't, like, part of the fight. It was afterwards, so it was kind of dirty and underhanded, like X-Pac.
X-Pac likes those nunchucks.
He does. Yeah, they're, like, his favorite toy. He's been, ever since Steve Blackman brought them out, he, like, took them halfway through the match, and he's had them, like, every night since.
I wonder if him and Tori are still using them.
Like a double-ended dildo, probably.
So Stone Cold Steve Austin sees WWF champion The Rock backstage, and they shake hands, and he tells The Rock that, you know, the car that ran me over was your rental car. Do you have any idea who might have taken the keys? And The Rock's like, it could have been anybody that came in here. Just Joe shows up and tells Austin that there's something that he needs to tell him, and then Austin beats the shit out of Just Joe. So Austin is questioning The Rock, though. I mean, do you think The Rock knows who did it?
I don't think so. I don't think The Rock knows that it was talking to Gino, too.
Yeah, well. Next up, WWF Tag Team Champions Edge and Christian defending against the Hardy Boys in a steel cage match here. Matt Hardy lands a flying leg drop to Edge to start the match. Jeff Hardy climbs over the cage, and Edge pushes Jeff, and Jeff falls to the floor, so Jeff Hardy is now out of the match. Edge and Christian land a double superplex to Matt Hardy off of the top of the cage to the mat. Jeff enters the cage and Christian rams the door into Jeff Hardy's head. Edge and Christian miss the concerto to Matt. Christian and Matt climb over. Jeff Hardy tosses a ladder at Christian and Christian falls to the floor. Edge hits a super bulldog to Matt Hardy. Jeff climbs to the top of the cage and hits a whisper in the wind to both Matt and Jeff. I'm sorry, Matt and Edge. Lita then lands a hurricane ride to Christian off the ladder, which I thought was really impressive to see. The Hardys hit a concerto to Edge on the top of the cage. Edge falls off, and the Hardy Boys escape the cage, becoming new WWF Tag Team Champions. What you think?
This was definitely a good match, and I was surprised because I didn't think it was going to compare to TLC, and it wasn't quite as good as TLC, but it was good. And they definitely set the bar, and they're keeping the standard.
I thought it was a good tag match. I agree. We see Stone Cold Steve Austin again backstage, and he's looking for Triple H, but he runs into Stephanie McMahon Helmsley, and she's like, "It's so good to see you. You know, none of my family was behind the run over accident with you, Austin." And she's like, "I have something that I've been keeping. I want to give it to you." And she gives him the hat that he got run over the night that he got run over, and he's like, "Thanks for it." And she's like, "Shane's gonna tell you who ran you over tonight." So Stephanie is fully on Shane's side here, and Austin's like looking at her like she's full of shit. Next, we have WWF Intercontinental Champion Eddie Guerrero with his fiancee Chyna taking on Rikishi for the title. Rikishi tosses Eddie into the floor and into the ring steps. Eddie tries to walk off, but Chyna's like, "No, get in there and fight." And she pushes Chyna pushes Eddie Guerrero back into the ring. Rikishi hits a Samoan drop and a bonsai drop, and Chyna argues with the referee. Rikishi pushes Chyna and hits her with a super kick, and the referee DQs Rikishi, giving Eddie Guerrero the win here, which I was surprised that Rikishi got disqualified because, Chyna didn't hit him, so it was weird.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. But.
And then after Rikishi hits Chyna with a bonsai drop and basically says, like, "Fuck you," and leaves. So, again, Eddie Guerrero is ruining everything for Chyna, it seems like here. What do you think?
Yeah, I like I said last time, Chyna really needs to listen to their friends because Eddie's clearly going to screw her over. And I was really surprised that she threw him back in the ring throughout the match. I think he's definitely going to have another fit at her, and we got the Playboy coming out, and that's going to piss him off. But he did put a ring on it, so we got to see what happens.
It's going to be on and popping, so we'll see what happens. Trish Stratus tells Kurt Angle backstage that if he needs a friend, she'll be there for him. So Trish is trying to get herself some new men, it looks like here. We have a no disqualification match with special guest referee Commissioner Foley, Kurt Angle versus Triple H with Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. And before the match, Kurt Angle sings "Happy Birthday" to Stephanie. Triple H slams Angle into the desk and ring steps. Angle hits a German suplex bridge for a 2 count. Triple H hits Kurt Angle in the back with a steel chair. Angle hits Triple H with a belly-to-belly through the announce table. And then Triple H starts to bleed from his mouth because he's got those bad ribs. Kurt Angle misses a moonsault, and then Triple H calls Stephanie to the ring and tells her that she needs to choose. And Stephanie low blows Kurt Angle, allowing Triple H to land a pedigree, and Stephanie has chosen her husband.
Yeah, well, I mean, she kind of had to. It's her husband. But this was a good match, and I thought Kurt Angle was going to win, especially seeing Triple H all bandaged up before the match. I feel like, at this point, he had to look tough all the time and good. So, for him to lose, he had to kind of like.
Yeah, it was kind of basic, though. I thought there was going to be more to it, but.
Yeah, it could have been a lot dirtier, for sure.
Yeah. Next up, Shane McMahon comes out. And Shane says, my impartial investigation led me to my culprit of who ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin. I have unbiased evidence. And Shane shows footage from last year, 1999, of Steve Blackman running over Ken Shamrock with a car. He says Steve Blackman ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's the bottom line because Shane O'Mac said so. And then Hardcore Champion Steve Blackman comes out, immediately followed by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin lays out Steve Blackman with a stunner, and then Shane McMahon grabs a bunch of beer, toasts to Austin, and then Austin lays out Shane McMahon with a stunner. So we don't know who ran Stone Cold over, but Austin is back. What'd you think of this ploy by Shane McMahon?
I thought it was kind of stupid. I don't really know what Shane has against Steve Blackman.
Well, because Steve Blackman was the one that injured him, remember, at SummerSlam?
Oh, right. Yeah, well, I don't think it was Steve Blackman at all, and I think Stone Cold's just laying everybody out right now.
Austin's pissed. DTA, don't trust anyone.
That's correct.
All right, we've made it to our main event, the WWF Championship on the line in a fatal four-way match. The Rock defending against Chris Benoit, Kane, and The Undertaker. Kane hits a flying clothesline to The Undertaker for a 2 count. Rock lays out Kane with a Samoan drop. Undertaker military presses Chris Benoit into the railing on the floor. Rock tosses Kane to the referee and then lands a DDT. Undertaker nails the Rock with a chair, and Chris Benoit does the same to the Undertaker. Benoit gets a 3 count, but Taker gets his foot on the rope, but still Chris Benoit is awarded the WWF Championship. That is until Commissioner Foley comes out again, deja vu to Fully Loaded, and he basically says the match has to restart because Taker got his foot on the rope. All 3 men then attack Chris Benoit on the ramp and toss him into the staging area. Benoit still able to land a German suplex to the Rock and a flying headbutt for a 2. Rock applies a crossface to Benoit. Undertaker lands a last ride to the Rock, but Kane breaks up the pin. Benoit hits Kane and the Undertaker with a steel chair. Benoit then applies a crossface to the Rock. Taker gets up, chokeslams Benoit, and then Taker and Kane fight on the floor, allowing Rock to land a rock bottom to the Rabid Wolverine, and the Rock retains the WWF Championship. What was your thoughts?
Well, I kind of missed that. The foot on the rope thing, so I was kind of surprised. But when I saw Mick Foley coming out, I figured he was going to overturn. And this is like the second or third time this has happened in the last year where they overturned a ref like that. And I don't really like when they do that because there's lots of times that should be done and it's not. So I'm not a fan of when they do that. But the match was pretty good. I kind of thought that The Rock was going to retain. And it was funny because I thought if anybody won, it would be Chris Benoit. And he kind of did. But, yeah, I don't know. I hope that they change it up maybe at the next pay-per-view. I hope maybe we see Austin in the main event. These guys, we've kind of seen the same guys going at the title now for a few months.
Yeah. I'm excited for something different. It's like every pay-per-view so far has been like a multi-man match, and it's like I just want to see a single one-on-one match, but decent pay-per-view overall. You know, we saw the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin. We had that really good steel cage match. Stephanie McMahon Helmsley chose her husband over Kurt Angle.
For now,
right? We still don't know who ran over Stone Cold. The Rock is still champion. Decent pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was like, I would give it a 7.
A 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to fly through September and we're going to head to
Not everything's a 10 like you.
Oh, that's like you. We're going to get to October and the pay-per-view that month is No Mercy. So I'm excited for that. I will give you want to get a spoiler?
Sure.
I'll give you a spoiler. Stone Cold will be fighting. That's
okay. Well, I kind of figured it's his first pay-per-view back. So
we'll see what happens. Make sure if you're listening to us on YouTube that you subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Leave a comment. What did you think of Unforgiven 2000? Do you have any memories from September 2000? Let me know in the comments. Also, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.